Hey, glad you could jump right in for part two of lease negotiation tips in commercial real estate. So, this from the landlord standpoint, so very important. And so, we want you to be clear and really understand these things around negotiating leases. This is a contract, it is directly attributed to your revenue on a property, which is attributable to value on a property. Number 7 is evaluate lease structure. Lease structure should align with your investment goals. So consider factors like lease duration, rent types, gross lease, triple net, any special provisions. And triple net is the way to go in all circumstances when it concerns a property, if it makes sense for it. So you want to be able to pass along your taxes, your insurance, and your maintenance to the tenant. That is how you create value in this. Number 8 is negotiate rent and escalation clauses. Absolutely, you need to make sure leases are structured where it increases value over time. And certainly if you run into a problem later or the market shifts, you can change it then. But just in case you're in an A1 location and there's always high demand for years and years to come, you definitely want to have that property positioned where you negotiate competitive rents, meaning you are in a place where a tenant that needs to be in your space you can find because they are not going down the street to another property. So negotiate competitive rent rate, escalation clause. Number 9, review and understand lease conditions. You got to look at the tenant's need or understanding who the tenants are, understanding their business and if they can indeed pay rent over a period of time and what their market is doing, if they're in a business that's going to continue to grow, because it definitely impacts you as a property owner. So review and understand the conditions, renewal options, termination clause, penalties, anticipate potential scenarios and plan accordingly. There's a thing in these leases called force majeure. Please understand that if act of God happens or something happens, you have to know that's why there is so important to be totally understanding of risk in these as a investor. One, because making sure your insurance covers all these potential problems. So just wanted to make sure it's clear that you gotta, as the owner or person that is responsible for the investment, that you gotta review and understand lease conditions, because it's absolutely not totally on the property manager, it's on you as the owner as well. Number 10, inclusivity clauses. Here, let me tell you something. There are a few things around this that matters that almost nobody on the tenant side addresses, but you on the landlord should address for yourself, which is exclusivity. And that's stuff like radius restriction, that the tenant that you have in your spot can't just go across the street and lease other space, or they can't put clauses in there where they can't just move in a specific period of time across the street and now compete. And their cash flow impacts your cash flow. So understand exclusivity is important. It's protecting your home ground against certain competitors of businesses operating in the same property or complex. Competitors will do it, and if you don't set your leases up to or fight against that, avoid that potential conflict, you're going to be in trouble. Many people miss it. But this is one of those things I learned from major corporations and their attorneys. They do not miss it. You can't just close down and go down the street. Oh no, it is not happening. They got clauses in there that keep you from doing it. And so as a landlord owner, your property manager may not catch that, but you absolutely got to have it and make sure your attorney have it in your leases. It is a winning strategy. Keeps the tenant in there, good tenants in there longer. So, next, number 11, negotiate operating expenses. This is where I'm talking about triple net. Listen, you want your tenants paying those triple nets. You don't want to, only thing you want to be responsible for nothing but keeping up the center. And for you keeping up the center, the tenant should be paying those fees for you. And so operating expenses is everything. So yeah, want to make sure that's done and it accounts for all the expenses properly. Last but not least, we talk about this a lot. Consult legal and financial advisors. Let me tell you, as an investor, your financial advisor is important. You want, and be careful of the ones that are not pro real estate, because you're a real estate investor. You need to make sure you have the right financial financial advisor, but you absolutely also want to make sure you got the right legal representation, because tenants, I've done mostly tenants, so I know, but tenants, I try not to let my tenants get in a bad position ever, even though I don't do that work anymore. Make sure the professionals are there that can guide you through complex lease terms, legalities, and financial implications to ensure a favorable income. Remember, successful lease negotiation in commercial real estate requires a strategic approach and a thorough understanding of market conditions. So be well prepared, adaptable, and collaborative can lead to a win-win outcome for both the investor and the tenant. Hey folks, thanks for joining me in this important piece of being a landowner, whether it's an office, industrial, or retail project. You want to be aware of these things. Hey, if you need help on anything that you have going on, hit me or schedule some time up there at the top. There's a link up there that will get you time on my schedule. And we love likes on here. This is YouTube, baby. Like our page so you're aware when we post new things and new modules. Thanks, you all. Have a great day.